So now, man, the final thing we're going to be talking about, NFL. Oh, Adam Sheen. I think that's his name, right? Sheen.
I have no clue.
Shine,
Never
Sheen.
heard of this guy before.
Serious, bro. He's like a Steeler hater too, bro. He always he loves the Browns. Always poo-poos the Steelers a bit, man. So he put a ranking out for the NFL's worst to first candidates based on division in the NFL. So just to name off the list, at number 1, he has the Detroit Lions. At number 2, he has the LA Chargers. Number 3, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 4, the Miami Dolphins. Number 5, the Washington Redskins. At number 6, the Carolina Panthers. And at number 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. And then at number 8, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So all 8 of those teams finished last in their division. And what he's saying are these are the guys who have the best chances, ranking them in terms of being able to jump from worst to first. So when I first think about the Detroit Lions, man, just off break.
Do you have your top 3? Do you...
In terms of what?
Like, are you gonna just go from each team? Are you gonna say...
I was gonna go from each team.
Okay.
Yeah. So like with the Lions, for example, I don't think that necessarily they're gonna make that jump just because when I think of the Green Bay Packers, they're not going anywhere. They're still a tough team. Obviously, you have the Minnesota Vikings as well. And they still, I mean, when you look at the piece that they have, they still got your boy Kirk Cousins out there, man. You know what I mean? So they're still they're still fine, offense and defense. So I think it's a 2-horse race in terms of that division. I do know Matthew Stafford coming back is going to be huge for the Lions. And as much as I believe in Stafford returning, I have an issue with how the Lions run their organization, man. The coaching staff, the management, they get creative with their ways of messing it up. Think Cleveland. They are like the Cleveland of the NFC North. That is just weird. That's how they are. Even though they have talent, Stafford is crazy talented. They just find ways to mess it up, man. I do think that the Lions, though, will be better than the Bears because I don't believe in Trubisky. Now, if Nick Foles comes in and he can emulate or replicate that playoff magic in the regular season, that's different. But we haven't seen Nick Foles outside of the 1 year where he got the Pro Bowl. I personally think that was more gimmick and scheme than him
The
per
Chip Kelly
se.
year.
Correct. We haven't seen him over a 16-game body of work be the reason that a team is winning. So with that being said, man, I don't think the Lions are going to be that best. You know what I mean? That worst to first, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you
mean,
gonna
you go ahead, man.
are you
Yeah.
gonna wait with the Lions?
Yeah. You got anything on
Wait,
that, man?
hold on. Wait, are we going to like give our top 3 or our number one?
Well, I was let's react to it first, and then we
Okay.
give and then we rank them after that.
Okay.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah. I'm actually a little higher on the Lions than you.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the Matt Stafford coming back has some legs for sure. And whenever he was playing, I know what was their record before he got hurt? It was like 3-4.
Yes.
They could have easily been 5-2-1, maybe even like 6-2.
Yeah, very true.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I know that, but I just think the Lions were playing pretty well before he went down.
Yeah.
They got Swift. They finally got, hopefully, a decent running back. I don't know the last time they've had actually a running back there that you could count on.
Bad.
Maybe Reggie Bush. I mean, he had a good run there, but that was like, 8 or 9 years ago. So then Kenny Golladay, they got some weapons on offense.
Yeah.
Is Hawkinson going to take a step up?
Right.
And their defense is so-so. They don't have the biggest names there. They did draft Okuda. I'm more down on the rest of the NFC North, actually.
Ooh,
that's kind of why. If Lions can come back and just somewhat play the same ball they were playing last year, I think Vikings are down. They're getting worse. Cousins sucks. I already laid that out there to everyone many times.
Wait, Dalvin Cook, though?
Well, this is going to be a mess for them with him wanting the money. Like, it's good for him. Like, he should get all the money that he wants. But as a team with the Vikings, usually that doesn't spell the best for team chemistry going forward. So I'm down on the Vikings. I think they've always been overrated. I'm down on them too. Although I think they could be like 10-6 or so.
I think worst case 10-6. They didn't get worse.
I think they'll be all right. I just don't think they improved too much, and I think they're going to come back to the middle because that 13-3 was a little deceptive, I think.
But they were 13-3 with Aaron Rodgers having a down year. They relied solely on their defense.
Well, that's another thing.
And this is another year for Aaron Rodgers in that system with Matt LaFleur.
Do you think Rodgers is going to get better next year? That's a question.
For me, I personally do. I think anytime you're going through that first year of offense, that first year in the transition, it is difficult at times. And I think now that he's going to have another year, but obviously things are going to be different just because of this offseason. but I do think he's going to be a lot more comfortable going into this season, and he's obviously healthy again. So I think for me, I'm a lot higher on the Packers and what their offense can bring just because of that. Knowing that last year, man, they were doing that with just defense and running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Rodgers is one of those guys, in my opinion, that even if he has a so-called down year, I think he's still going to be Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Now the question is, how much better is he going to be? So 10-6. I just don't think. I just think 13-3 last year was perhaps a little bit of a mirage. There's some stats backing that up where they were skating by a little bit, but they did make the NFC Championship game. They still have Aaron Rodgers, so I definitely think they're making the playoffs.
Okay,
I just think the rest of the division's down, and like the Bears, like you said, I predicted their downfall last year, and they're going to keep sliding down if they keep Trubisky in there.
Trubisky's terrible.
Whoa! I've never heard that harsh of a criticism coming from you.
I'm not a Trubisky guy, bro. I'm not.
So the Bears are down, and I think I did this whole thing on TikTok. I've been going team by team and just giving like a quick breakdown. And with the Lions, their over-under was 6.5. And I said they'll at least get the over. I think they'll get 7 or 8. But this is saying worst to first.
Yeah.
Chance to be first in the division. Mm-hmm. All right.
That's my thing. I don't see them taking over the division, honestly.
Taking over the division. Okay. I see them getting maybe 8 wins.
I think so. I think Stafford's going to get you 8 or 9.
Potentially being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We got to break down the rest of these teams because honestly, I'm not really high on the rest of these teams.
Now, see, the number 2 team, the LA Chargers, I'm extremely high on.
Wow.
I am. But and when I tell you why, this is the whole situation. So obviously, Phillip Rivers took a huge step back last year. He was at sometimes just flat out awful. Like, hey, he shouldn't be out there. I think at worst, Tyrod Taylor, who's proven he is a Pro Bowl quarterback, has proven that he can be just a good quarterback. I think that screams a lot. And then also you bring in Justin Herbert. I think we already know what type of talent he is. And if he does get up to speed in time, he has a chance to do something special out there. But from an offensive standpoint, Austin Eckler, they got a deal done with him. He's good to go. We know from a defensive standpoint, they're bringing back Derwin James, who to me, I mean, you debate 1 and 2 in terms of safeties in the league between him and Minka. Like, that's where it is.
Jamal Adams in there, probably.
It's absolutely Jamal Adams is in there. For me, I'm a Derwin James guy. Like, I just love his game. I love his game. I love his game. Now, Minka, like I said, I put him just either however you want to take him, Derwin or Minka. You can't go wrong with either one. That's that. But for me, when I think of that, and I also think of the young Bosa out there as well, man, what they have on defense, along with what they're going to be having on offense this year with just competent quarterback play. Yeah. For me, I'm very high. The problem is the division they're in.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
How do I put them above the Chiefs? Like, I can't.
No. Yeah. Worst to first, definitely not. Yeah. And I think the Raiders are kind of underrated in that division.
I think the Raiders are underrated, but I think the Chargers have the better team, more complete team. But that's my whole thing. I'm like, man, you're not overthrowing the Chiefs. No. Not happening.
Well, I just think this team's overhyped all around, dude. Wow. Herbert, Tyrod Taylor, too many questions at quarterback. I just don't see it there.
So for me, I don't really see those as questions. I feel like if Phillip Rivers is still the quarterback, it's questions surrounding Phillip. Like when I think of the Colts, that's a major question.
I think Rivers is going to have a better season than either one of those two, though. I'm not saying he didn't have a bad year. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the reasons are. I'm not sitting at my house watching the Chargers, although I am this year because
some people say it's physical ability.
I said I'm going to watch every regular season game this year, so I will be able to give a more clear breakdown of all these other teams. But no, I just think these guys are overhyped. And even Eckler, dude, I would feel better with him as the number one running back if Rivers was there. I don't feel good about him being the number one guy with the uncertainty at quarterback, although you see it as certainty. I'm just not the biggest fan of either guy going into this season. And the defense is decent. I just think there's too much hype coming with this team. And I guess with the Herbert draft and the New Jerseys going to LA, new stadium, I'm not feeling it, dude. I'm just not. Because the Chiefs.
Shout out to how'd you feel about the New Jerseys? You like them?
Huh? Their New Jerseys are really sweet.
I like them. They
really sweet. Yeah, Chiefs are just going to win this division, dude.
Yeah.
I think there's another team that's getting too hyped in this division, and it's the, I'll just say it right now, it's the Broncos. They're getting way too hyped.
Yes, the Drew Lock train I'm not on right now, bro.
It's getting too much. I'm not that's why I said with the Raiders, I think they could be a sleeper team for that number 2 spot, but I don't like either of their quarterbacks either. I'm a quarterback guy, dude. So.
We know. Trust me, if anybody knows Deke's a quarterback guy, we the people know. We definitely know.
Yeah, so the only quarterback in that division is Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Verdict's still out on lock, but come on, dude. Yeah. We'll be see 5 weeks from him. There's too much hype. There's way too much hype with Denver. But yeah, the Chargers, I'm not big on them either.
Okay, see, I'm bigger on the Chargers right now, man. All right, next you got the Arizona Cardinals, man. So when I'm looking at their division, I got some more issues, man. Because at the top, dude, with the Niners and Seahawks, like, man, we know what both of those teams are. Super consistent. One was in the Super Bowl, one 11-5, and let's be real about it, they're only going to get better. Yeah, well, because see, for me, I'm not a Rams guy right now. I feel like the Rams were overhyped, bro. I'm telling you for a fact. Even last year, I was like, "Thank you. This is starting. Reality is starting to show." I'm not a golf guy either. I'm not either. I'm not. And yeah, if I'm picking, I'm like the Rams. Nah, buddy, you got rid of Gurley. Hey, man, you're starting to lose more talent each and every year. Your window is over. They're done. They're done. The window is over, man. So for me, I think the Cardinals probably finished third in that division, but it's hard for me to see them overtaking the Seahawks or the Niners.
Definitely.
I mean, I understand the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. I think that is going to be huge. I like him a lot. I think Kyler Murray, you can expect him to be a lot more comfortable and take another step forward. Defensively, still got some question marks.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a bad dude in Chandler Jones. We know that.
Yeah, we talked about that whenever we were playing them last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mainly the division. And I know you're down on the Rams, but at the same time, I'm just thinking, all right, they're the Rams. I don't really see them going away in terms of at least competition with the Cardinals. Like that, or do you think Cardinals are just going to blow them out?
I think it's going to be.
Whoa, man. What's this, a 4-12 year for the Rams?
I don't know what it is for the Rams, man. They just, I don't know. They'll probably get 6 wins out of it somehow, some way.
I think at least 8.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough sledding for the Cardinals, I think.
I don't think so.
You think they'll get what, 7 or 9?
I think so.
8? Something like that?
I don't think. I think 7 or 8 wins. Yeah.
Okay, but still, worst to first. We both agree with them. No way they're doing that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm on the same page. I actually don't really have much bad to say about them. Yeah, like you said, maybe the defense a little bit, but it's just more the division. The Niners and the Seahawks. Although I do think the Niners are going to slide a little this year. I did say that earlier. I still feel that way.
And that's fine with them sliding a little, but slide a little from 13 wins, I still see them being a 10-win team.
Yeah.
They're still making the playoffs.
And then you got Russell. Yeah. They're gonna get 10, 11, 12 wins no matter what.
So that's my whole perspective of this.
So
now the team we're probably the most optimistic about
this is you
making the worst of first. Yeah. Got the Miami Dolphins, baby. Got the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
They've made some moves. The draft was really good for them. They brought in some key pieces. But the biggest reason why I guess I'm most optimistic about them is because of their division. With Brady leaving, the thing is opened up. We understand in Buffalo, I think, is the favorite to win that division.
Yep.
But they still haven't done it just yet, though. And that's the thing. Yeah, but they haven't done it just yet. So until they do it, it still is open. And with the Patriots, we know they're still going to be competent. I don't want people to think, oh, man, Brady's gone. They're only going to win 4 games. You got to remember, shoot, with Belichick, he's won 11 games with Matt Castle. He went 5-0 with the combination
Garoppolo
and Brissett. So anytime Belichick is involved, you know their defense is still going to be top notch. They still are going to find ways to be in these games and win these games, and they always operate with high level execution. So for me, that's still a team that's going to be in there. But I think the Dolphins probably have the best chance to make that jump.
Just more based on the division.
The division, along with the talent. And when you think about Brian Flores,
they definitely made a run late last year.
And that was in the middle of them supposed to be tanking and being trash.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, I know, number one, Brian Flores can coach his tail off.
Yep.
But I also know that they have pieces in place. They have a quarterback that can win you games in Ryan Fitzpatrick. But if Tua is up to speed, I mean, they're saying that he's healthy. If Tua gets out there, he gets up to speed, that's a wild card. We know how good he could be when healthy.
Yes, the Tua thing is
defense. They are stacked right now. Have you seen their defense, dude? They spent a ton of money, but they brought in some guys.
They brought
in Byron
Patriots
Jones.
Dude.
Byron Jones.
Van Noy, right?
Yeah, they brought in Cal Van Noy, who we saw during the Super Bowl run for the Patriots. And was that 19? I want to say it was.
I don't remember. He's a good player.
18. But he was a huge impact player. They brought in Byron Jones out of Dallas, paid him like crazy. They still have Xavier Howard. I mean, dude, they got some dogs, man.
So in a world where, this is how I see them winning that division. Mm-hmm. Bills are overhyped coming into this season.
Okay, and you still try to concede hate on the Bills. Cool.
They fall flat on their face with the hype and go 8-8. Okay. The Jets keep sucking, and the Patriots, they just can't really seem like they're, like you said, they're not completely out of it, but they're plugging along. They're competitive. They go 7-9, 8-8. Yeah. Tua has to be the starter for them to win the division. I don't know why. I think it has to be a rookie magical season for Tua.
You're just a storyline guy.
I don't see Fitzpatrick being able to do it and win a division for a whole season.
Fair enough.
That's all. I mean, I could see him maybe playing the first 4 games. He goes 2-2, and then you're just like, all right, it's time to get Tua in there. And then he goes on a crazy run, kind of like Big Ben with the Steelers. You know, those awesome rookie seasons that go down in history. That's what's going to have to happen. For Tua and the Dolphins.
You know the thing that would work for both of those teams, though? They were loading on defense, huh?
We won 6-10 the year before, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Bro. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Good, baby. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger, baby. I'm just putting out the facts.
There was an X factor.
I'm just putting out the facts, baby.
So that's how I see the Dolphins doing that. How probable is that? I'm not sure. I mean, I could see it happening just because, as we mentioned, some of these divisions. That division's probably least certain compared to all the other ones, Correct. I'd say.
Well, for me, I think of this too, man. I know just through the history of that division, the Bills and Dolphins, they always split. They always back and forth with it. So I think that does play a factor in why I do think that they could still get in there. I'm not saying that I think the Bills are still going to be in the playoffs, period. But I do think that the Dolphins have the best chance because of how they match up with the Bills. Flores, his familiarity with the Bills, being a former Patriot guy as well, is just a lot of pieces that make it an interesting and unique matchup. But at the end, I do think the Bills still are the front runner because they have the better team from top to bottom.
Yeah, they're definitely favorites right now. But we'll get into who we actually think wins the division probably as closer to the season.
It shouldn't even matter, right? Because you're going to say the Steelers are winning the division over the Ravens anyways. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
You said 16-0, man.
Well, yes, because I said I'm not being analytical no more. I'm not going to just break it down like that anymore. I'm just giving you the straight Deke over just period. They're beating everybody by 50. That's my approach. Okay.
Yeah. So we're on the same page then.
But outside of this room, there are people that could make a stronger case for the Ravens. That's all I'm saying, baby. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
And that's fine. I'm not even going to call them dumb either because they were a good team last year. But
the Bills, though, they weren't a good team last year. No, not at all. Or the year before that.
They were a good team last year. I have admitted that too. They were a good team.
No, it was like pulling teeth.
It's not someone I want to put my money on. That's all I'm saying.
Pulling a tooth to get it out,
I'm
man.
not putting my money on them for big winning. I'll tell you that.
And here we go with this broad. The Titans won the AFC Championship game last year, and that's not even big winning. So I don't even know what big, unless it's a Super Bowl, I don't know what big winning is.
It didn't feel like big winning. It felt like big choking from the other teams.
They went into New England and won. They went into Baltimore and won. What are we talking about? If that's not big winning, I don't know what is.
It just felt like big choking from the other teams. Okay. That's all. And then and the Titans getting lucky, and they were exposed in the AFC Championship game. It's as simple as that.
Exposed to the Super Bowl champs. Like what? That doesn't make sense.
They were just exposed all around.
Okay.
And we know that they're not going to do it. They're going to be like Jacksonville that year they went to the AFC Championship with Bortles. Enough, man. I'm telling you right now.
All right. That's
they overpaid for Tannehill. They're going to regret that.
Okay.
They're going down the tubes here.
Okay.
You know, we talk about powerhouse organizations. Titans are one of them.
This past 3 years, I ain't going there with you, man.
I don't care about what I know you were going to say something about the playoffs. I never felt they were actually at a shot to win.
Man. I'm just saying.
No one did.
The past 3 years,
anyone in their right mind.
A certain team has been in there, and a certain team has not been in there.
Win or go home. It's as simple as that.
Man. All right, man. Cool. There. It's all good, baby. I'm not tripping.
I know. Dude.
All right. So the 15 got the Washington Redskins. Now,
they got them too high.
Yeah, their division is open, but
you're right. Actually, you're right because the other team's divisions. I'm looking at this is a lot tougher. But
I mean, Cowboys okay, but you really got to see what's going to happen with Dak.
I mean, I could see 8-8 winning that division, or 9-7.
That's what I'm saying. Like legit, yeah.
That's how it usually is.
Giants, depending on if you're a believer in Daniel Jones or not. Philly, they made some moves this offseason.
Yeah, Philly or Cowboys are probably the two favorites, but you're not. Are you saying either team going in, even if you're a fan of those teams, are you saying they're getting over 10 wins for sure?
I can't. Right.
So, yeah, your probable win projection for both those teams are around 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah. Which the Redskins could do. They have a new coach in Ron Rivera who's been successful, very successful. They do have Chase Young. Depending on what the
I don't think there's much else
like, quarterback situation is going to dictate a lot too. Dwayne Haskins, or if they're going to go with Kyle Allen, just from the familiarity standpoint. So
yeah, I don't think you're feeling too good about either, but you definitely got to give Haskins the shot. You can't. But
Allen wait a minute now. The dude got Montez Sweat, right? Yeah.
Nah, dude. There's nothing about this squad that. All right. Okay. There's nothing about this squad I'm feeling too good about.
Kerrigan, he can ball. Kerrigan can't ball now. Don't you go there. Don't you do that. Don't you.
Where's the first? The argument is
is their division wide open?
That's it. No? Yeah, that's all you're really going off.
So they technically could. They have a great opportunity in that.
They don't
division,
have much on offense though.
They are hurting on offense, and they just lost Trent. So
they don't have much on offense.
Yeah, but Ron Rivera's used to operating with just a talented quarterback and making everything else work.
I was gonna say if Haskins can have a Jared Goff type of year too, where he just comes out of nowhere, like he had a terrible year one, but then it's like he flips the switch. Which I don't know. Could it happen under a new coach? I don't know. Yeah. I think that's all you're really banking on. But there's way more uncertainty there than any of these other teams, in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right.
All you're banking on is division, and then this next team, there's no shot.
Carolina, it's not happening.
Although they could be like,
no, it's not happening.
No, not in terms of winning division. They could. I see. This is what I was saying. This is one of those teams I did. Their over under was like 5.5 or 6.
Yeah,
I could see them maybe sneaking in 7 games somehow.
Okay, they could get their 7 games.
I don't know how. Yeah, they're not winning.
I would say, which team are they better than in the division?
No, none of them. None of them. Exactly.
That's gonna be tough because we know for a fact Bucks are gonna be upgraded. That's 7 wins from last year. That's gonna get upgraded. The Saints are the Saints,
and Falcons are gonna win 7 or 8 wins every time.
Yeah, always.
That's their floor. That's their floor.
Yeah, man. So I understand Teddy Bridgewater. Honestly, he's probably the 4th best quarterback in the division still.
Definitely. Yeah.
Matt Rule, depending on how you feel about him.
Yeah, could he turn it around that quick? Does he have that magic that he can bring in there?
But then on top of that, I think about this offseason, that factors into it because he hasn't had a chance to give those guys that magic. He hasn't had a chance to let them feel his energy, be more hands-on with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this team for the worst of first. I feel, like I said, I feel good about them making...
From a talent standpoint, how do you feel about them? Because I personally... they lost Cam Newton's gone, and you got to think about and Kuechly's gone.
I think they downgraded at quarterback for sure.
They definitely downgraded on defense too.
Yeah.
No Kuechly, Mario Addison is gone as well.
There might be something. DJ Moore's starting to come into his own, and then McCaffrey's just a beast. And
fair enough.
Here's the thing: I definitely like Cam over Teddy, but if somehow Teddy is Rule's guy, that he feels like, all right, I can run this perfect system through him, then maybe it could look like a better offense under that. I don't know. I'm stretching a little bit, but for some reason it's just the new coach coming in. Maybe they mix things up. They're trying to do that whole analytics approach.
Yeah, that's the new
I don't
wave.
know. It could be one of those sneaky teams that just can be in a lot of close games. I don't think they're gonna actually make real noise this year. Maybe make some little sputtering noise or whatever.
I need to get you to define make noise, it factor, big winning, just so we got, because you say that they could probably make some noise, but if I asked you, did the Bills make noise? It was times last year like they're not making any noise, and I'm like, they're still winning.
A lot of it has to do with expectations, and
we're gonna get you to draw this up. You're gonna draw this up for us.
There's no expectations for them.
Yeah, you're gonna draw this up for us though.
So they could be. What I mean is they could be a team kind of like the Dolphins at the end of last year, where they're in competition with teams like you're having good games. I didn't
consider the Dolphins making noise last year.
At the end of last year,
it still wasn't making noise. Just they were winning. Making noise to me is like, oh, you're a playoff team, or you're in the conversation.
No, they were making some noise and telling you, hey, watch out for us in the future. That was that type of noise.
Yeah,
that was that type of noise.
I don't hear that type of noise then.
There's certain noise where it's like, this season, watch out for us. We're making noise this season.
Okay.
Dolphins noise last year was coming a little bit farther away. It's like, watch out for us next year.
And we got you down the line.
That's the type of noise I see the Panthers potentially making this year.
Okay, we'll see.
No shot at the division at all.
Not a chance.
No shot.
This next team doesn't have a shot either. In my book, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah, no shot.
I understand. You bring in Joe Burrow from a receiver standpoint. I love their receiving core, though. Golly, if AJ Green is healthy, him with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, they got a chance to be special. Like I said, if AJ Green is healthy, obviously, I'm a big Joe Mixon fan from what he does on the field.
Best receivers in the NFC North?
Between them and Cleveland?
does Deontay make the Deontay, Juju, and James Washington versus AJ Green, Boyd,
Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins?
Odell Beckham, Landry. They don't have a third guy though.
But nobody in the division outside of AJ Green is even close to OBJ's spectrum of star power.
Yeah.
So that's why like for me, I say OBJ because it was the equivalent of like when it was AB and Juju. Like regardless of who else you was lining up,
you could throw whoever at the third spot.
Right. Like you knew. AB
they do have
AB.
Hooper as tight end too, but we're talking just receivers.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because we know what AJ Green, when healthy, AJ Green is a top 5, top 10 receiver at worst. Tyler Boyd has proven that he's a really good receiver, regardless of quarterback play too.
Are we giving it to Browns right now then?
Just because we don't know what T.
Rookie. Yeah. If you're projecting, I'd project Steelers, but
see now why would you project Steelers? Because if we're projecting,
I think Deontay is going to go off, and I think Juju's bouncing back.
For me, I think that T. Higgins is another form of AJ Green, and I think the same concept. If I'm going to take the approach that Juju's bouncing back, I have to keep the same energy when they talk about AJ Green because they both got the same arguments: injury and quarterback play. So if I'm going to be a believer in Juju, I got to be a believer in AJ. When I think about Tyler Boyd, I'm like, okay, I think that he's better than James Washington, but I think Deontay has a higher ceiling for him.
Yeah.
But then when I think T. Higgins, I think T. Higgins has a chance to be special.
Okay.
And that's why with that whole situation.
Interesting. So you would project, see, a lot of it depends on Burrow though then.
It does, yeah, but a lot of that depends on Ben too.
Yeah, but that's a certainty in my book. But
okay, but people will say Joe Burrow being the number 1 overall pick and what he did at LSU and the best collegiate season ever.
Trust me, I heard a bunch of that whenever I said I'd take Daniel Jones over him right now. Yeah. Trust me.
So for me, I'm like, hey.
And that's even whenever we had that discussion, I said I'd prefer Burrow over Tua. Yeah. But I got all that backlash for the Daniel Jones thing, dude.
Like that's for me. I think T. Higgins is special. We saw what he did at Clemson as well. And I think the difference between T. Higgins versus a Chase Claypool, right? Because people have said, well, man, I'm hyped about Chase Claypool. I think he's going to be this, this, and this. If you're that hyped for Chase, I'm even hyper for T because of, number one, we know for a fact, it wasn't a mystery of his time. You know he plays fast. You know he makes comeback catch. You know he shows up in big games. We already said if they didn't tell you what Chase Claypool ran, you would have not have guessed it was a 4-4. Because when you cut the tape on it, doesn't show. And I think that's just the difference with that. Whereas with T, I mean, T was the 33rd overall pick. So he's essentially a first rounder. Let's be real about it. And if the receiving room wasn't as stacked this year, this draft class, he probably would have went higher. So for me, that's why I'm still a lot higher on the Bengals receiving corps, if all healthy, because that's the biggest thing with AJ Green right now, if healthy. But if we're operating with the mindset that he will be healthy, that's a very, very formidable group, man.
Okay. Yeah, but we both agree, though.
But they're not.
No shot. Steelers and Ravens.
Yes, it's a 2-horse
They're worse
race.
than the Browns, even.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the Browns, I mean, depending on who you talk to, people throwing them in that mix in terms of 3-horse race.
I've heard it too much.
Me too. You can't. It's kind of like when you say 16-0 every year. It's like, all right, bro. I don't believe it no more. It's not happening.
What do you mean? People trying to hype the Browns too much?
I'm just saying. Some people say 16. Some people say 15-1 too many times, and it's like, bro, I'm not believing.
I said 13-3 this year.
You try to change it. I'm just simply saying that people have said these things over and over, and it's like, all right, I heard it too much. It's not happening. Get out of here. That's all.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. I don't want to name drop. You know me. I got sources. But yeah, man, I just don't think that. I mean, when you're talking about the division, 2-horse race, 3-horse at best. But Cincinnati is definitely the 4th best team in that division.
They're rebuilding.
Yeah. And then this last team. Woo-wee. This last team here. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Oddly enough.
Our division's garbage, in my opinion.
I was going to say, they do probably, I mean, them and the Redskins probably have the best chance in terms of the division. Because the Texans, we said they're finding ways to get rid of high quality assets and not getting good return on that. The Titans, I mean, you feel like they're trash. I still think they're a good team because over the past 3 years, that's what it says. But they still aren't the runaway favorite. Even last year, with them being the most successful they've had, they still were 9-7. Like, think about it. That was their regular season record, 9-7. And then you got the Colts. The Colts, I think, are the most complete team. Mm-hmm. Offense, defense, they have everything you want there. The biggest question mark is Phillip Rivers, though.
For some reason, I believe, Phillip, that he's going to come back and be good.
That's because you like those styles. I mean, anybody in that court, I'm sure if Eli was playing, you'd be like, I think Eli's going to come back, man. I think he's got it, man. Him, Eli, and Ben. And, oh, gosh. They're great. They got it.
Is it something to my childhood, or
it is
something
bro.
to knowing
nostalgia.
Yeah, something to knowing at least. What does he have? He has like 7 or 8 Pro Bowls or something like that. So like I've seen it, and it's just you don't really want to believe it's over yet. Even though I don't like Rivers, I just don't. It's something about. There. I know that era, and I know that style of quarterback. Like you said, I know what Rivers brings to the table. And I heard an interview by him. He was like, you know what? I still feel like I have it left in the tank.
In fact, he said he was mad that people were doubting him. I'm like, hey,
that's what I mean. For some reason, I believe him.
You don't want us to doubt you? Prove it. That's it, man.
For some reason, I believe him. For some reason,
I know what I saw on tape. That's it.
For some reason, I believe him. I don't know why. Yeah. So actually, yeah, I would probably give them the nod in that division. And I think Jacksonville's just the worst in that division. Although
they're gonna have a chance, man.
Yeah. Who knows? Is Minshew gonna take a step up? Is Fournette gonna be hungry in his contract year here and just go off?
Defensively, now they've continued to lose pieces on that side of the ball, but it's that division is pretty open, man.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Would you say that the AFC South was more open than the NFC East?
Ooh, yeah. Just because there is uncertainty with the Rivers thing. Yeah. As much as I want to say, I believe he's going to come back. That could very well not happen. And then I don't believe in the Titans, and I don't believe in the Texans.
Now, is your disbelief in the Titans stronger than your belief in Jacksonville?
I have no belief in Jacksonville.
Okay.
But if you're saying there's a chance, or if there's a shot, they have a good shot because of their division.
See, for me, I believe in the Titans.
I picked Jacksonville to win the damn division last year. I can't believe that, dude.
For me, I believe in the Titans a lot more, I think, than Jacksonville. But I'm more confident in the Colts as a whole because worst case, if Phillip just mentally, he's ahead of any other quarterback in that division.
Yeah.
And I understand you. Hey, well, what about Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson is definitely on a trajectory to do special things, but body of work right now, Phillip. I mean, for me, what
Patriots are gonna end up getting him somehow. Watch.
Oh, Deshaun?
Yeah. O'Brien's doing too many trades.
That would be dope.
I could see it happening.
That would be dope.
Although they should be trying to sign Cam right now. I don't really understand that. So.
Or maybe they're tanking for Tua. I mean, not taking for Tua, taking for Trevor. Excuse me.
Oh man, dude, whoever gets him, like they hit the lottery, dude.
Imagine if the Patriots just tank this year and they get him.
That's not happening.
I'm just saying,
that's not in that's not in Belichick DNA.
No, he's a schemer. He's a planner.
He's a schemer in that
big time schemer.
I want to show that I could prove out to everyone that I can win with Stidham. That's what he's trying to scheme.
Are you sure?
I do think
or he's saying, look, man, Stidham, I'm gonna put this battery in your back. You go out there, no OTAs, and crash this car real quick so we get this insurance claim. Scammer.
I don't think he views a team like that.
Yeah.
Because I think Brady would have been treated differently throughout his career.
Yeah, I don't think he's not on that approach either.
Where it's like, this one guy's going to change our franchise. I think he's like, no, it's a team. And every part is replaceable.
Rightfully so. So, if we're ranking these three then, we're going to rank...
Top three?
Top three.
Wow.
Who you got, man?
Actually, I'm going with the Lions at 1.
Okay.
No. To win the division?
Yeah.
See, I think they have the best shot to make the playoffs.
See, not win the division. Right, because I definitely agree. I think Detroit makes the playoffs. I think either the Chargers or the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs. I personally think it's going to be the Chargers, though.
In my top 3, so I gotta dissect this. Lions and Dolphins, I'll say, are in my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, dude. Jeez, oh man. I really don't like the Chargers. I can't say the Cardinals because that division's too strong.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to say Redskins or Jaguars then?
Ooh, you nasty.
It does feel gross.
You so nasty.
Minshew with the mustache, or do I go with the Redskins? Oh man. I think that division's worse. I think that AFC South is worse.
Yeah.
I don't feel as good about the Redskins going up against the Cowboys and Eagles and even Giants with Jones and Barkley.
Yeah.
Man. Am I really going to say Jaguars? So I'm sticking to Chargers. They're out of it, and the Cardinals. I got to stick to that.
Yeah, because the Chargers, the only issue is, man,
Panthers
they have the
Bengals,
Chiefs in there,
chance.
Bro. If the Chargers,
I'm gonna say Jaguars. I have to. It's gonna be Lions, Dolphins and Jaguars. Wow. I did not think that was going to be said out of my mouth.
See, for me, I got Dolphins. I got the Lions at 2. And then my third one, man, like I said, I'm a believer in the Chargers, baby. I am. And this is the thing, too. All we need is just one step back, something janky to go around, a Super Bowl hangover or whatever it may be. Different conversation. That's it. So for me, that's why I'm like, you know what, Chargers, I know how complete y'all are. And I know the quarterback was the biggest issue. And at worst, I know Tyrod can play a lot better than what Phillip did last year. I know that. And their defense is going to be a lot better this year because Derwin James will be back for the whole season. Imagine our defense pre-Minka versus post-Minka. That's the impact of a Derwin James.
Okay, dude.
That's where I'm at with that, buddy.
I'm saying no shot for the Chargers, though.